Hey, what's up, guys? I'm with the world's strongest man, and today we're going to talk about why you should do external rotation exercises.
Get up and get down, get up and get.
All right, guys, thanks so much for stopping by the YouTube channel today. If you guys follow Martin's, you'll see that he opens up every single one of his YouTube videos with some external rotations. What we're going to do today is talk about why that is so helpful being a strength athlete, what it does to your body, and I'm going to show you 3 different ways in which you can prime your body for external rotation, strength, and stability. So first things first, a little anatomy. We're going to come over here and talk to our friend Tommy, the skeleton from 3B Scientific. Now, you have muscles on the back side of your body, specifically your infraspinatus and teres minor. And what they do is when they turn on, they contract and create a little bit of external rotation, strength, and stability for the shoulder joint. Now, if you look at the shoulder, it's basically a golf ball sitting on top of a golf tee. So the shoulder joint itself is one of the most mobile joints in the entire body. What that means is that inherently it can become unstable and move in a way that can lead to some injuries. So it's very prone to instability injuries. So by performing some external rotation, strength, and stability exercises, we prime these muscles on the backside of the shoulder that are very prone to becoming weak and then set up a lot of injuries on the front side. So external rotation exercises are going to prime these muscles on the backside, your infraspinatus and your teres minor, to keep the shoulder joint safe and allow you to perform to your greatest potential. So what we're going to do today is show you 3 different exercises that you can use at home to work the shoulder stability. So the first one is a side plank external rotation. Now, a lot of times you'll see people just doing these on their side laying down. Very simple. For a big strength athlete, we got to be in a side plank because we're going to work that core as well. So I'm going to have Martin's drop down onto his side and get into a little bit of a plank. You can either go from your knees or go from the full feet. Okay, grab some weight. Okay, again, you don't have to be very heavy with this. This is a 2.5 kilo plate, and he's going to do some external rotations. Now, from here, a couple cues. We want to keep the elbow close to the body, and you're going to start right here. Okay, so straight out in front, you're going to rotate back as far as you can and just come down to right here. You don't want to come all the way back down because we want to keep the shoulder blade in a good position. We don't want that shoulder joint to entirely roll forward, which is often what happens when you come down too far. So shoulder joint mechanics are key for this. Just like everything else, mechanics come first. So he's pulling back, keeping that shoulder joint right here, and elbow tight to the body so that you're completely rotating. If you do about 15 of these, that shoulder joint's gonna be burning pretty good. Rotate over to the other side.
I did 10.
So let's do the same thing on the other side, just so everyone can see. How's it feel? Oh yeah, we're not gonna do this on that side because Martin's got hit by a car. And
What, I could maybe plant?
You could do that, yeah, you could do that. And he's got a little bit of an elbow injury on that side that got stitched up. So we're gonna modify it. He's gonna go side plank from the full hand. There we go. He's gonna be an acrobat for this. Can he do it?
Ooh.
Ooh. Little instability training. So again, we're gonna keep that elbow close to the side. Okay, rotate up. And again, as you rotate up, you don't want to be throwing that elbow away from the side. We want to keep it just pure rotation. So for a lot of people, you really don't have to go too high with this, but just pure rotation of the shoulder joint. Again, maybe 10 to 15 reps. Start with light weight, and this is really going to be burning that outside part of the shoulder. How you feeling?
I'm good.
All right, so that's number 1. Number 2 is we're going to do an external rotation W. Can you grab that?
I'm actually pretty curious. You said you don't have to rotate that far back.
Yes. So a lot of times people will do this.
I was really thinking
really open up.
Yeah, I thought you had to do that.
Yeah, you only want to go as far as you can without changing the rest of your body position.
So, okay.
Step 2, W's. So these are the exercises that we did earlier, where you're rotating out to the side. Now the big difference with this that we did is put a hold into it. So your elbows are by your side. Okay, rotating out, and you're gonna hold out here for 5 to 10 seconds. Now, the reason we're holding out here is because we're not just priming shoulder strength, which is your ability to move a joint, create strength and power to move a joint. What we're looking for is stability, which is our ability to maintain position, to limit excessive or unwanted motion. So we're teaching those muscles on the back side of the body to turn on and then maintain joint position within the shoulder. So by going out to the side and holding right here, he's gonna feel these muscles burning much more than if he was just moving the shoulder back and forth. So this is an external rotation W, because the arm's gonna make obviously a little bit of a W going out to the side. And he's holding for 5 to 10 seconds. Something like this, I'd maybe have him do 10 to 15 reps based on how much we really want to work the shoulder that day. How you feeling with this?
This burns.
Burns pretty good.
I'm sweating.
There you go. So the great thing, flip around with this. Not only is he working the back of the shoulder, but when we do a standing W, we're also calling in a little bit of your low trap muscles. So this is a great exercise also to work a part of your trap that is often under-facilitated, especially a lot of my strength athletes that are doing a lot of shrugging, a lot of overhead work, like my Olympic weightlifters or my CrossFitters. They get very upper trap dominant, and often they get a lot of weakness or under-facilitation of your low trap. So doing a W like this and holding allows us to prime that low trap just a little bit more. Not too bad?
No, not too bad.
All right, so that's number 2. Number 3, we're gonna do some rotations in an elevated position, because here's the deal. As strength athletes, we're not just doing things below our shoulders our entire life, we're also moving above our head. So what we're gonna do is an external rotation press. So we're gonna work the body and improve that external rotation ability in an elevated position. So I'm gonna have you down on a knee. There you go. Yep, you can grab that for a knee. Okay, so from right here, what we're gonna do is an external rotation press. So what I'm gonna do is have him start straight out in front, and you're gonna row backwards. Now from here, he's gotta lock in the shoulder blade. He's going to rotate back, keep his elbow elevated, hold for a couple seconds, and then press overhead. Now hold this again for a couple seconds before reversing it back down. Down, keep this locked in, press, and forward. Now, not only is this working external rotation, strength and stability in an elevated position, but by pressing and holding, we're also really increasing the demand on the serratus anterior muscle, a very helpful muscle at maintaining shoulder blade position whenever we're going overhead. So this is a great exercise, especially for anyone that does overhead pressing. This may be just with a press, a jerk, or a snatch. So external rotation, hold, rotate, hold, press, hold. Again, the hold is key with this because the band itself isn't that tough. So you could go through this really quickly and you're not going to get nearly the amount of benefit from this exercise to have effective carryover for your exercise that you're trying to do. What do you think?
This is great.
Great exercise.
I've been doing these for months, you guys, and in the beginning, I really struggled with my right arm. It would go way out front and I would not be able to pull it back. But this has significantly helped me get my right arm to activate again since my nerve damage, and also just has helped me a lot with my lockouts.
Okay, so big thing, always do both sides. So rolling back, and then external rotation, hold, and then press. Now, big thing with this too, while you're doing the side to side, if you feel like that posterior shoulder maybe isn't kicking on as much on one side versus the other, maybe you're dealing with a shoulder impingement like Martine's is, you can hold just a little bit longer. Right there, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then press. Good, hold up there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then reverse it back down. And sometimes those holds can just turn on those muscles.
And for reversing, I don't need to
degree.
hold that long, right?
Yeah, for you don't
motion.
need to, but you can if you want to increase that demand a little bit more. Make it just a little bit harder. Good. How's this feel on this side compared to the other side?
Definitely harder to get my arm back up.
Okay.
But the rotation hold is harder.
The rotation,
Yeah. So this part right here.
Okay.
That feels weaker.
Gotcha. Now, if you guys have not yet checked out, Martins and I shot a video where we evaluated his upper body and looked at some of his shoulder and elbow injuries, and we found that external rotation, strength, and stability was one of his areas that he's lacking. So if you haven't seen that video yet, go check that out. That's part 2 of our evaluation working together. So this would be a very helpful exercise at improving that weak link to help him get back to performing 100% pain-free. So, how you feel after all those?
It's great. It's burning.
There you go.
He didn't have me rest at all. He's a one-take kind of guy.
There we go.
That hasn't even stopped.
We'll rest now before we do our next shoot.
Wow.
big takeaway for today, external rotation, very, very helpful. Most athletes have a weak link where we're just not as dominant posteriorly because we do things so often throughout our lives, pushing just right out in front. We're very forward, looking at our phone all day. A weak link that many athletes can benefit from is external rotation. But the way in which you do it, the technique that you're using, the holds that you apply, really make the difference of whether or not you're doing it effectively to have good carryover for the rest of your training.
You haven't stuttered or missed a beat. It's amazing.
Practice. All right, guys. Thanks so much for stopping by the YouTube channel. If you have any questions for Martins and I, let us know in the comment section below. And if you don't yet, go on over and check out Martins' YouTube page and give him a subscription. Follow him. He's got some amazing content on there.
Thank you.
There you go. Until next time, guys. Happy squatting.
They say that energy flows where attention goes, so I pay no mind. Why waste my time with all these negative cats scratching? So caught up in their egos, these people have